Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
Today we're tackling something really interesting, the power of articulation.
Oh, interesting topic.
But, and here's the twist, we're not just talking about how it helps you get your point across.
Right.
We're looking at how being articulate can actually help other people understand themselves better.
Yeah.
We found this excerpt and it blew my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It suggests that clear communication, like really clear communication can, it almost gives other people a framework to make sense of their own thoughts and
Oh, I
feelings.
see. So like almost like a blueprint or a map or something.
Exactly. It's like you're building this bridge for them to cross from this like jumbled mess of thoughts and emotions to a place where they can actually like see things clearly.
That's a great analogy. So how does this actually work? How does someone else's articulation do that for me?
Okay, well, think about it this way. Have you ever had a feeling that you just couldn't quite put your finger on?
Oh, all the time.
Right. And then someone comes along and they just put it into words perfectly,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's like a light bulb goes off in your head.
It clicks.
You're like, oh, that's exactly how I feel.
They've given you the language for it.
Exactly.
So they haven't just helped themselves be understood.
Right.
They've helped you understand yourself better.
Exactly. And the source goes on to talk about this idea of the power of naming. Have you ever noticed that when we give a name to something, especially like a feeling, it suddenly becomes less scary?
Less overwhelming.
Yes. So instead of just saying, I feel uneasy, what if you said, I have anxiety about the future?
Right.
Now it's not this vague, amorphous blob anymore. It's a specific thing.
You can put your finger on it.
Exactly. You can address it.
Yeah, it's relatable.
Right. Other people understand anxiety about the future.
I've also noticed this, like when someone articulates an idea really well, it makes me think about my own stance on it.
Right. Even if you don't agree with them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it kickstarts this whole thought process.
That's a great point. And the source even talks about how this articulation, sparking introspection in others can actually lead to like real personal growth.
It's like those aha moments you get when you read something that really resonates.
Absolutely.
Like that spark comes from someone else's articulation.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like they've ignited something in you.
So, I mean, this is pretty wild, but the source also talks about how articulation can actually build empathy, like even between people who have totally different backgrounds.
Right.
How is that even possible?
Well, think about it this way. When someone can clearly articulate their own experiences, even if they're completely different from yours, you start to really understand their perspective.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they've drawn you a map of their world,
I see.
and suddenly you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
You're not just nodding along politely, you're actually connecting. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that people who are just like naturally articulate tend to be really inspiring.
Oh, for sure.
It's almost like they become these unintentional leaders
Right.
or mentors. Like people are drawn to them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they can express things in a way that makes sense to others. They have a way of cutting through the noise and getting to the heart of the matter.
It's like they've gone ahead and scouted out the terrain.
Yeah.
So you feel more confident taking the journey yourself.
Right.
The source actually specifically mentions how important articulation is in fields like therapy
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and education.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that is?
Well, think about it. For a therapist to be effective, they need to be able to accurately reflect their patient's feelings back to them
Yeah.
in a way that makes sense and helps them heal and grow. And the same goes for teachers. Like a teacher who can break down complex topics into, clear, engaging language, it makes a huge difference in a student's learning.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because you can have the most brilliant idea in the world, but if you can't communicate it effectively,
It's lost.
no one's going to get it.
Exactly.
So it's not just about having knowledge, it's about being able to share it. So, I mean, if articulation is so crucial in these professions, do you think it's fair to say that, like, in everyday life, it's kind of a subtle form of leadership?
Absolutely. I mean, think about the people you look up to, the people who inspire you. I bet they're all really good communicators.
That's a great point.
They're able to articulate their ideas in a way that makes you want to listen and learn from them.
That's like they attract people who are seeking understanding.
Exactly. And the source even has this amazing analogy for heartbreak.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love that.
They describe it as walking through a city where every street reminds you of a place you used to belong but no longer do.
I mean, that's so spot on. It captures that feeling perfectly.
Right. And what's really incredible about that analogy is that it resonates with anyone who's ever been through a heartbreak, no matter what their background is.
It makes people feel seen and understood in their pain.
Exactly. And it takes this abstract, messy feeling and turns it into something, concrete.
Yeah, and shareable. It makes you feel less alone.
Exactly. So I guess the big takeaway here is that being articulate isn't just about being a smooth talker or winning arguments. It's about using your words to connect with others on a deeper level.
And to help them connect with themselves, too.
Yeah.
It's about making complex things clear and giving voice to feelings that are hard to express.
And you know what? It's a skill that anyone can develop. The more you practice articulating your thoughts and feelings, the better you'll become at it.
Yeah. And just think about the impact you can have on the people around you.
It's huge.
You can help them make sense of the world, find their own voice, you can inspire them.
You can literally change lives.
And that makes me wonder, how can we each use our own articulation skills to make a difference in the lives of others? It's something to really think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.